For the latest episode of Fantasy Island, Elena and Javier try to work on their friendship, and as that happens, Ruby fails at trying to handle a multi layered fantasy that Elena tasked her with. To start off, Javier and Elena's issues, they realize stem from the fact that they went from co workers to in a relationship and they never really had a solid foundation of friendship. So, with that in mind, the idea is let's work on our friendship and become something in that way. But how to become friends when you skipped over that whole section of getting together is a bit difficult for them, especially since now they have to really take into account the power dynamics of their work, the past relationship they had that didn't work out, and it's a lot for both people, especially since Elena has issues with her emotions and Javier has kind of closed himself off a bit. It's hard for them to try to figure out how to ignore the chemistry, yet also accept the fact that there's something between them that allows them to be compatible. So, to summarize the fantasy of this episode, Seth and Natalie have been having trouble conceiving a child. And when it comes to Vivian and Lou, they're trying to figure out a way to enjoy their retirement together, which is difficult for them. And the reason why it's difficult for them is that when Seth and Natalie moved to the neighborhood, they tried to have a pool, and with trying to have a pool, they ended up killing the tree that meant a lot to Vivian and Lou because it was associated with a lot of them moving to the neighborhood and their children growing up. Because of this, there's been a war between the two families in which Vivian has made it so that the pool that Seth and Natalie have tried to have keeps getting issues with permits and all that, so it hasn't happened. Seth and Natalie have retaliated mainly in just little annoying things. And what both parties, well, at least what Seth and Vivian didn't know, is that Lou and Natalie have a relationship outside of them. And not romantic or anything. But since Lou kind of misses his daughter and Natalie plays golf, they have been playing golf on Sundays and bonding, and Natalie has told a lot of her business to Lou, which when it comes to the fighting between Vivian and Seth, Vivian and Natalie, and then Lou getting dragged into it, it has led to a lot of mean things being said, food being thrown, and as much as Ruby tries to control the situation, it's clear that she can't handle this. So, Elena has to step in, force everyone to see each other's side, and with that, eventually there's peace. Mainly in the form of both Seth and Natalie admitting that they didn't really want kids, more so because their friends were having kids, moving to the suburbs, they were following suit, but ultimately they're going to move back to the city. Never mind having kids since they are enough for each other. And as for Vivian and Lou, they're going to stop with the whole tree thing and pretending like they want to be old retirees who just stay at the house all day. And they're going to get an RV. They're going to get a condo near their kids. So they're going to travel, be with family, and wish both Seth and Natalie well. And with that, everything ends up fine. Now, this episode, there's not a lot that can be said beyond just noting that it was a surprisingly touching episode. There was a lot of energy involved in terms of the anger between Seth and Natalie and Lou and Vivian, yet the pettiness also opened up a lot of feelings involved with Lou missing his daughter and Natalie kind of providing that, yet at the same time, Lou betraying Natalie by bringing up all of the infertility issues, which she told him in confidence. At the same time, you could also factor in that Vivian, that tree meant a lot to her because with her kids moving far away and now her retired, she has so much time on her hands to think about things, and not having things that she wants, it bothers her because she's somebody who has some expectations that now can't be met, some demands that Lou can't fulfill as he usually does, and it's hard to deal with at an older age as you realize that, sort of like when you were a child, you don't have control or power of your circumstances or environment anymore. And then in times of Seth, they don't really dig too much into the infidelity issues and maybe him having to worry about maybe he's shooting blanks or anything, but that's a factor to think about. And on top of that, you have your wife being unhappy and you feeling unable to do anything about that. It can make you feel a bit inept and worry about what are you really doing as a man and a husband. So even though I can't really relate to any of this because I don't live in the suburbs, don't worry about a spouse or anything like that, it's still definitely an emotional episode that even without being able to relate to those things because you lack the life experience, it gets you in your feelings in a way that I'm not saying that Fantasy Island never does, because every now and then it does have a good set of guests that can get you in your feelings, but it does feel like the first time and maybe a few episodes that it really nails it.